Hello, everyone. Get your chips. It's time for Realtor Monica's Tuesdays Tips. Realtor Monica. Now with Agent Thursdays. Hey guys, Realtor Monica here with this week's Realtor Monica's Tuesdays Tips with Agent Thursdays. And today we have with us
Dave Deaderick. How are y'all doing today?
All right, Dave. And what brokerage are you with?
I'm with Watkins Real Estate.
Okay,
Associates.
awesome.
Yes,
All right, so first of all, I usually like to start with what made you get into the business?
Yeah, so I mean, before this, I did construction for a long time. On my pastime, I would buy and purchase homes. I would live there for 3 to 6 years, depending on the area of the market. Fix up the home and then sell it. That was kind of like my secondary job, but I enjoyed that more than my actual job. So once some life changes happen, and I'm sitting there looking at everything, going, well, this makes sense because it's something I actually enjoyed doing rather than being on the road doing construction.
Okay. So then, did I know a few of the agents say they had a home that maybe they were purchasing or something happened and they had an interaction with an agent that also may have led. Do you have any of those stories?
Yeah, definitely. I've had a bad agent in the past,
Okay.
where you sit there and go, why am I doing your job? And me, I'm big into negotiations, numbers, so
Right.
I'm
Definitely a numbers guy.
if I'm gonna sit there and have to run the numbers for you and tell you how to do your job, then I don't need you. And I think that's the problem nowadays. A lot of people think that they can, I can for sale by owner, I can do it myself. You can do it yourself. You can do it with a bad agent, or you can do it with a good agent that's actually going to benefit everybody in the stands. So.
And that's why I recommend interviewing agents.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, a lot of people automatically feel like, well, they have to go with the first person that they meet, and they really don't. It's okay to interview agents.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people in the area, you recommend, I always personally recommend speaking to 3 people no matter what you're doing. If you're doing insurance for your home, talk to 3 different people, run the numbers. If you're talking to an agent, talk to 3 different agents. Each person, even though there are some similarities, each person brings something different to the table. And at the end of the day, it's what works best for the client. And sometimes it's not you. And that's okay. It's okay.
That's just life, and that's okay. And sometimes you have to find where you fit into each situation, and at times you may not fit into this one, but you were really the missing part of the puzzle to this one.
Right.
So definitely depends on where you feel like is your niche. Yeah. So has anything surprised you coming into the business? Or any expectations that didn't end up being?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I spent about a year looking into even before I got my license. Okay. So I knew I was pretty much educated on what was going to be done once I got in. I knew the expectations. I knew what I was going to have to do
and what you were getting into.
And what I was getting into. A lot of people don't realize that it is a sales job. And they're like, oh, don't get me wrong, I like to help the next person. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need that person that just needs to be sold something, and sometimes you have to, help people out.
Yeah, you have to kind of come in where they are. Yeah. Because some people, you can't sell them. They need you for service. If you fit the criteria they're ready to go. Some people don't want to learn in the process. They just want you to handle it. Then you have people that really do want to learn a little bit about the process and feel like they're in the know about what's going on. So.
And that's why you interview different agents.
Exactly.
Because depending on what you're looking for, depends on who you should be working for.
Yeah, very smart. Okay, well, Dave, do you have at least one tip for first-time home buyers?
First-time home buyers, do your education. Make sure you're not only aware of the area area, the house, the criteria is what you're getting into. Everybody has that buyer's remorse. You buy something because it feels right at the time. And then once you actually go through and look at it, you're like, wait, what did we just do? If it feels right, you should definitely make sure you take the time to look into it. But at the end of the day, if it makes sense and it is right, that's different than a feeling. So just make sure you're educated on what you're looking for, and when you find the right house, don't hesitate.
I think that's an interesting take on aspects of what you just said. I don't think I've had it put that way before, so I appreciate it, Dave, for a different, fresh perspective. Right? Yeah, just thinking about it that way, because there is that element of buyer's remorse, and if there's ever a purchase you don't want to have that on, it's a house.
Yep. It's often the biggest purchase you're ever going to make in life. So, but that's why I say, educate, like we were talking about interviewing, but it's also making sure that you're comfortable and educated, so when you get through it, you're not getting blindsided. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I have what fee to pay? I have what to do? You should know all this before you get into it, and having the right agent is going to really help you along through that. Right. So that's so true, so necessary, and I really appreciate it. So at this point in the show, I usually just check to see if you happen to have a listing or you have anything coming up. I work with a lot of investors, so a lot of off-market things. Right. But I'm more of a numbers guy than I am a hand-holding friend.
For sure. Anybody that knows you for real knows this is true. And
if you want an honest answer, I'm going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you.
He's going to give it to you, and you're going to know exactly why and how many on this side and how many on this side and what plus this equals this divided by this, carry one. I mean, I love math, but I think you surpassed me, but that's okay. Yeah. But I really just want to say thank you for allowing me to interview you today.
No worries.
And it's been great, so I can't wait to see what you do in the future, Dave.
I appreciate it, Monica, and to all your listeners out there, you got a good one here. Keep following her.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Dave.
Learn all you can.
Awesome. All right, guys. See you next week. Pick up the phone and find your home. Realtor Monica.